get back to that breaking news. Former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted. He's charged with one count of making false statements and another of obstruction of justice. We want to get right to CBS News Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane. He's on the phone for us right now. Scott, what do these charges mean, and what are they referring to?
Something that happened nearly 5 years ago this week at a congressional hearing in which James Comey testified and was asked questions about the investigation of alleged Russian interference in the 2016 election. According to the charging documents, the feds are alleging he made a false statement to Congress, count one, and therefore obstructed Congress, count two, when he had said something about a leaking of information to the media that came from the investigation. It's not exactly clear what phrase or sentence they're alleging to in the charging document yet, but it's something from his testimony about the leaks of information to media in the 2016 Russian investigation. It's important, the timing here, Liz, because this is 5 years after the incident. The statute of limitations is 5 years for these charges. They had to charge him before Tuesday, or they couldn't at all, and they did so tonight.
Now, earlier this week, Scott, federal prosecutors in Virginia told Lindsay Halligan, Trump's pick to replace the ousted U.S. attorney there, that they didn't have probable cause to charge Comey. So what's changed?
There's controversial, and then there's controversial, and this is the latter. This is going to unleash some scorching criticism of the Department of Justice for shattering a number of norms and protocols. The president, in so many words, urged a prosecution of James Comey less than a week ago. The prosecutor in charge of the investigation was ousted. A Trump White House aide was put in charge, and days later, she's the one signing the charging documents submitted tonight to the court. Lindsay Halligan, a White House aide, Trump confidant, she's the only person who put her name on this charging document tonight. Nobody else in the massive U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Virginia did. This type of political interference with the Department of Justice isn't just different. It is unprecedented, and I think Democrats are going to argue it is destabilizing for the U.S. justice system.
Now, earlier we saw President Donald Trump putting pressure on Attorney General Pam Bondi to charge some of the individuals that Trump views as his enemies, Comey being one of them. Another is Senator Adam Schiff. Are you hearing anything about other charges against other people that Trump, frankly, views as his enemies?
We know that same office, now led by that same Trump confidant, is investigating New York Attorney General Letitia James, somebody who the president has also declaratively said he wants prosecuted. We know in Maryland there's an investigation by the feds of California Senator Adam Schiff, a longtime foil and political opponent of the president's. We know Congressman, or Senator now, Schiff, has hired an attorney to help him with any future legal matters in any case that's filed. But once you break a norm, once you shatter a standard, which appears to have happened here tonight, it does become much easier to shatter it again, according to multiple former Department of Justice officials who've reached out to me tonight, all of whom say this is a significant case no matter what the disposition. It's a nonviolent felony. This is a rather boilerplate type of charge, making a false statement. We see that dozens, if not hundreds of times a month in federal courts across America. But no matter the significance of the charge, this is a uniquely significant case.
Have we heard at all from James Comey this evening about any of this?
To be clear, James Comey has long denied these allegations put up against him. We haven't heard from him yet. We've reached out to his defense attorney, who is listed in the court docket. Here's what we know about the grand jury. They met in Alexandria, Virginia today. This was their last day of meeting this week to take up cases. This one went later in the day, actually went into the evening before this charging document was announced and released. And the grand jury did not agree. They rejected the prosecution's request for a third charge, another false statements charge. It is very rare for a grand jury to reject a Justice Department request for a charge. So that's noteworthy, but they did approve the other two. And so at some point in the coming days, James Comey, the former top cop in America, is going to be arguably one of its most famous criminal defendants, facing a judge at a court in Alexandria, Virginia.
Scott MacFarlane, thank you so much. I know you're going to be watching this case very closely.
Thank you.
And this type of case, a president putting pressure on an attorney general to go after people he sees as enemies, is truly unprecedented, as we've mentioned. And earlier I asked defense attorney and former federal prosecutor Scott Fredericksen to explain just how unusual this is.
You know, this goes to a fundamental building block of democracy. where the power to charge someone criminally in the United States is always exercised by professional prosecutors. The Department of Justice historically has taken pains to isolate itself, to wall off the President of the United States. So there's no political pressure ever exerted on the Department of Justice, the Attorney General, the line assistant U.S. attorneys to bring this case or not to bring a certain case. And it appears that wall has been fully breached. And based on reports, it appears that this new acting U.S. attorney, no experience as a prosecutor, is taking direction from the President of the United States. Never happened.
And here's what Scott Fredericksen had to say about what comes next in all of this.
I think we're going to see some explosive, arguments right out of the box. And I think what I'm going to be looking for is when this gets to the judge who's appointed to handle this case in the Alexandria Division, I suspect we're going to see that judge exercise some very strong supervision, given the fact that the U.S. attorney in his district, who was an experienced prosecutor, respected prosecutor by the judges in that district, was forced out when apparently he concluded there wasn't enough evidence in this case. So the judges, this district is one of the premier districts in our country. They handle most of our national security criminal cases. They take great pride in their professionalism. So I'm looking to see what the judges here do. I think, I suspect, my prediction is we're going to see the government on defense, on its heels very quickly in this case.